God is not really moved by us. He is moved by what his son did. And the quickest way to please God is not to stay in your room and say, I'm not going to sin, because if I go out, I'm going to sin. But the quickest way to please God and the right way to please God is by having Jesus in your heart. What does that mean, Apostle? When the Lord Jesus went to Jordan and met a man called John the Baptist, John baptized Jesus, and God spoke from the heavens. For the first time, people heard God's voice. It shocks me that they never wrote their own books, because if I was there, I would have written the book of Apostle Miz. Hearing God's voice audibly. Remember, Jesus was not born in the New Testament. He was born in the Old Testament. He had to be born in the Old so that he can look straight into the law and challenge the law. But that's another topic for another day. Jesus dies in the Old Testament. It is his resurrection that brings out New Testament. So in the Old Testament, where Jesus got baptized, he got baptized in the Old Testament. I know when we read, it says New Testament. When he got baptized, they heard the voice of God. But wait a minute, who are these people? These are Jewish people who for a period of 400 years, they did not hear from God and they did not hear from prophets. In the Old Testament, please follow me here, God will send a prophet to speak to his people. But in the days of Malachi, the Bible then says, from that time, God was silent. And if you're going to study, you realize that for 400 years, God was silent. So between the book of Malachi and the book of Matthew is 400 years of silence. How was God silent? God was silent because there was no prophet. Now, all of a sudden, John shows up claiming to be a voice. That is why now the Sadducees went to him and the Pharisees and said, are you one of the prophets? Because for a long time, there were no prophets. So what you heard is Pharisees, Sadducees, teachers of the law. But you did not have men who will say, I'm here to speak on behalf of God. So when the voice spoke after Jesus got baptized and said, this is my son, in whom I am well pleased.